What is going on, guys? Shinobi here, and today I'm making a video unlike any video I've ever made before. I usually stick to more gaming related videos here on my channel, but I just got back from watching Infinity War, the Avengers movie, and I have to make this video. I thought so heavily about the events that took place in the Infinity War movie, and I saw what I think are a bunch of clues and hints to what is going to happen in the next movie. Now, I know I haven't even made a review about this movie or a spoiler review at that or anything like that, but I don't think you really need a review because it's awesome. Everyone knows Infinity War is awesome. Go and see it if you haven't seen it already. And obviously, there are going to be spoilers in this video. Many spoilers. And also, did I mention there'll be spoilers? So if you haven't seen the movie yet, then you should go and see it. Go and support your local theater. I do every week. Even sometimes I go and watch movies that I don't even care about just to get out of the house and do something for like $7 to watch a movie. It's a good time. I think you guys should do it anyways. Highly suggest you go and see the movie, especially before you watch more of this video. Now, come back later on after you watch the movie and then see if you agree with me. And that's what I want to know. I want to know if you guys agree with me. Now, I don't normally make these kinds of videos, but I just had all these thoughts through my head, and I said I just need to tell somebody what I think about this prediction, and just get it out there. And if you guys agree, cool. If you don't, that's cool as well. Leave it in the comments. I want to know what your predictions are. This video is going to be my predictions, and then also it's going to be talking about some of the events that happened in Infinity War that I think were clues to what happens in the next movie. Even though it's a couple years away, I just got to get this out there right now. What happened in the Infinity War movie? Well, guess what? A lot happened. And in fact, the Avengers, they weren't their normal selves. In fact, the Avengers made many mistakes throughout the Infinity War movie. Mistake number one was the Avengers were never all together for the entire movie. Even though there were big battle sequences, there was never a moment in the entire movie where the entire team was together. However, I bring you to this clip of a trailer that was given to us before this movie came out of Infinity War, where you see the entire team together at Wakanda, running together. You see Hulk out doing his thing. However, the Hulk never came out during this time. I think that this clip from this trailer is actually something a little bit more. I think it's actually what should have happened instead of what did happen, and what will actually happen at a later point. So, I think that clip is from the next movie. I think that they shot the ending of this movie, and they shot two different endings to this movie, and we'll see the second ending in the next one. That's part of my prediction, but that's only part of some of the clues behind all of this. Let's get deep into the clues, into the heavy clues. So these mistakes that I talked about, what were some of these mistakes that were made throughout the movie? Well, the first mistake that is most notable in my eyes is when Tony had the opportunity to call Captain America, yet he didn't. This was an opportunity for the team to get back together again since the events of Civil War. It's obvious throughout this movie there is still some turmoil between the characters as they don't want to work together. They'd rather go off and do their own thing. If you look a little bit later in the movie, when Spider-Man and Iron Man go and save Doctor Strange, they had a perfect opportunity to turn the donut ship around and go back to Earth and then form a plan together to take down Thanos. However, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man decide to go off just those three. That was another mistake. Later in the movie, there was also another huge mistake, and that was when Thanos was disoriented and Spider-Man almost had the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos, but Star-Lord, upset about the love of his life that he found out that she just died by the hands of Thanos, snaps him out of it, and their plan doesn't succeed. That was another mistake. You see, when we're talking about failure, when we're talking about things that we could have done better in a movie, in life, we wish we could go back and redo these things. We wish we could go back and do everything correct this time. Well, my friends, they're going to have that exact opportunity to do so in the next movie. You see, yes, I'm talking about time travel. Yes, I'm talking about how they're going to go back and fix it all and make it all better. But how do I know this is going to be the case? Well, there's even more clues that we're about to get into. In the beginning of the Infinity War movie, we see Doctor Strange, who is the protector of the Time Gem. He says how he would not sacrifice anything for the Time Gem. He would protect it at all costs. However, near the end of the movie, he gives up the Time Gem to Thanos to save Tony. Interesting, considering he said before he wasn't going to sacrifice anything for it. He wasn't going to give it up for any reason. Yet he gives it up for Tony. So over the course of the movie, they bonded really well. So now, you know, maybe Doctor Strange has a thing for Tony. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He's smart. I mean, they both have similar mustaches. You know, maybe they could have something there. Or maybe Doctor Strange isn't an idiot. Or maybe earlier, before that scene actually even took place, we see that Doctor Strange goes through over 14 million different situations that could happen, yet only one of them is a situation where the Avengers come out on top, which is already telling us right now that the Avengers is going to come out on top in the next movie, because Doctor Strange obviously is going to want to push us in the direction to make that happen, and he already did, because when Thanos was fighting Iron Man, and Iron Man was about to die because he got stabbed in the stomach, yes, it was an emotional time, and people were sad, I was too, but that's not the point. Anyway, Doctor Strange saves him by giving up the Time Stone. Now, he does this because Tony is the key. Tony needs to survive. How do I know that Tony is the key? Well, there's a couple answers to this, actually. There's a couple clues to this. The first clue is the one that's actually just in the movie itself, and that is that when people died randomly, because people were chosen randomly that died, Tony happened to still be alive. Well, it's a 50-50 shot, right? Or something like that. So maybe he just got lucky, or maybe it was fate. Maybe Doctor Strange knew that Tony was going to survive and knew that he would be the only one that was smart enough to put the pieces of the puzzle together, kind of like I'm doing right now. Not that I think I'm on his level until, you know, but you know what I'm saying, that I think that Tony is the key behind all of it. He's going to figure out all this stuff, and he's going to see, what did we do wrong? He's going to be in this moment in the next movie where he is just devastated from the events that happened in the Infinity War movie. And he's going to be like, oh my God, what if we did this? What if we did that? What if we could go back and we could do it all over again, and we could do it right this time? What do we need to do right? What did we make mistakes on? We need to go back and fix this. And that he will do. I want to talk about how he's more of the key to all of this. I was given a picture by a buddy of mine that showed me a poster of the Infinity War movie. And this was obviously a cool poster. I like it. It looks pretty awesome. But there's also another poster out there that looks strikingly similar. You see, this poster is of Dragon Ball Super, and they look the exact same. In fact, they are mirrored to each other correctly. And that is a pretty big clue in my eyes, because if you look up at the top and you see Jiren, the quote-unquote bad guy of Dragon Ball Super, you will see that he is mirrored as Thanos. the bad guy in this movie. And then you take a look at where Goku is, and who's in Goku's position doing the same thing Goku is? Iron Man, Tony Stark. You see, the Marvel Universe started with Tony Stark and Iron Man, and it will end with Tony Stark and Iron Man. And even more so, in Dragon Ball started with Goku, and it will end with Goku. He's always been the center behind everything. He's always been in the middle of everything, just like Tony has. It's always come down to Tony. If you look at the first Avengers movie, who saved the day? Tony tried to sacrifice himself to save the day. If you look back to the Age of Ultron movie, what sparked that whole movie to begin with? It was Tony. Tony sparked the whole thing to begin with because he had a dream that all of his friends was going to die. And yet, in this movie, pretty much all of them did. Maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe it was a vision. Or maybe it was a hint, a clue to the events that are going to come up. See, Tony freaked out and created Ultron because he wanted to protect his friends and the world and the people that he loves from an impending doom. Yet, the impending doom all along, ever since these Avengers movies have been going on, has always been Thanos. So it all links up correctly. Tony is the key behind all of this. What other mistakes were made? Well, there was a really big mistake that was made, and this is where we got a huge clue to what's going to go down in the next movie. Well, Thor shows up and starts wreaking havoc on the armies at Wakanda on Earth. And there's no match for Thor when he's powered up with his new awesome axe crafted by Peter Dinklage, aka Tyrion Lannister. So then Thanos shows up to collect the Mind Stone, the Mind Gem, the last one that he needed to complete the puzzle, to get the Infinity Gauntlet complete and have that infinite power to be able to go through with his plan. So Thanos shows up, and one by one the Avengers try to take on Thanos. Instead of being together, fighting together, and taking down Thanos, they go in one by one, making more and more mistakes. The Avengers work best when they're together as a team, not individually. You can't beat Thanos individually. They need to team up together to beat Thanos. But Thor, being as powerful as he is and being a god, Thor just might be the one to be able to do it. Well, Thor is flying up in the air, and Thanos shoots out what looks to be some kind of Kamehameha beam type thing, and they have this kind of Dragon Ball moment, and which was cool, by the way. And then, which also just is another clue. And then Thor comes down with his axe and stabs it into Thanos' chest/stomach region. Well, this looked like it was a good thing. All right, he did it. He injured Thanos. Maybe Thor's strong enough. Maybe he'll save us all. Well, this is where Thor made the biggest mistake of all throughout all of these. You see, if you wanted to defeat Thanos, then how would you do that, right? Who would you ask for the answer to beat Thanos? Who would tell you the best way to beat Thanos? Well, how about the guy that's wielding the Mind Gem that he just acquired, by the way, and happens to also be Thanos? You see, Thanos, in his arrogant moment right before everybody dies, he gives us the answer that was right in front of our face the whole time. You see, right as Thor is pushing that axe deeper into his chest/stomach region, Thanos says to Thor, "Should have aimed for the head," and then flicks and then snaps his fingers, and that's when it all goes down, and that's when Thor realizes that he failed. Much like everybody did throughout this movie. This movie was a movie about failure. It was about not being able to do what they needed to do. They didn't succeed for once. And this is something that is going to kind of boost them into getting it right the next time. You see, that situation was pretty interesting because what do we do about that? Well, we go back in time to fix this situation. I want to remind you of a similar situation that happened in Dragon Ball Super, actually, where Vegeta is about to kill Frieza, but doesn't know that Frieza quickly destroys the planet. Well, what do they do in this situation? Everybody's dead. Well, what they did was they went back in time to have another chance at stopping this from happening. So Goku, the key to everything, right, comes in and saves the day and kills Frieza before he can destroy the planet. They got a redo. They got another chance. Interestingly enough, if you look at that poster again, who's in the position of Vegeta? Well, Thor is. Thor is the one that couldn't get the job done and everyone died, just like Vegeta. And then we had another redo of it in Dragon Ball Super, just like we will in the next Infinity War movie. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to go back in time? Near the end of the movie, we get to see Tony talking to the chubby Asian assistant slash partner of Doctor Strange, time wizard, warlock type dude, and they're just talking with each other, and he says, well, what are you going to do now? And then the guy says, well, I'm just going to stay here and protect this or whatever. I don't remember exactly what he said, but that was a weird situation. Why did they show that to us, right? They showed that to us to let us know that he's still alive. That means that Tony is going to be like, we need to go back, we need to fix everything, and I know just the guy to be able to do that. And that guy has the abilities just like Doctor Strange does and can go back and take them back to, take Tony back to the beginning. So now you're going to see him go through those moments again. He's going to call Captain America this time instead of not calling Captain America. And he's going to turn the ship around instead of going towards where Thanos is. And, you know, and then the Guardians and Thor are going to show up together near the end of the movie, and they're all going to be together. They're all going to fight Thanos, and this time, Thor is not going to miss. This time, Thor is going to hit him right in the head, and when he hits him in the head, obviously it's not going to kill him because he has the power gem, giving him pretty much invincibility, but it is going to disorient him, much like we had where Star-Lord failed, and he's going to be disoriented, and this is where they can take the gauntlet away, and Hulk hulks up. And if you want to try to take the gauntlet that is bound pretty hard by some crazy power, you probably want the strongest being in the universe, aka Hulk, to finally Hulk out and show up to the party and grab onto the gauntlet and pull. And you probably might even have a sequence where the rest of the Avengers are working together and they're all holding on to Hulk and they're all pulling together to take it. Well, he's disoriented, and then boom, you have this shockwave effect, and Thanos stumbles backwards, and he doesn't have the gauntlet anymore, so he doesn't have the power gem, which means that big axe that's sticked in his head right now, well, guess what? That's gonna kill him, and then he dies. And that's it. And they saved the day. They went through, they had another chance, and this time they did it correctly. And this and many of these things are my predictions for the next Infinity War movie, which should be out probably in a couple years. Anyways, that's what I think. What do you think? There's much more that goes into it. There's so many little Easter eggs here and there, and little clues here and there, but those are the major ones that I wanted to talk about. Do you think I'm right? Do you think this is going to be the case? And yeah, anyways, even if I'm wrong, I'm sure I'm going to love the next movie. Yeah, so anyways, thanks guys for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? What are your thoughts behind it? You know, get a discussion going. I want to see what you guys have to think about what's going to happen in the next movie. Or maybe you're not a prediction type of guy. Maybe you just want to go into the clean slate in the next movie and just see what happens. But I feel like there were a lot of clues here. That's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, my name's Shinobi, and as always, Thanks for watching.